highlight me particular questions which might be themes which we're going through in the chat as I go through the presentation. Right, so as said about me, I'm a New Zealand educator who's now teaching in Marlborough College in Malaysia. I'm a bit obsessed about Sway and Flipgrid. And for all you teachers out there, my best piece of advice I've received is always ask for forgiveness, not permission. Not for permission. So always try it first, and if it goes well, everyone thinks you're amazing. If not, no one needs to know. So I'd also like to thank fellow Canadian MIE expert Christine McKee for also assisting me with this presentation. We had some conversations about how to present best about the new Flipgrid, so I thank her for her support. So in terms of following me, you can follow me on Twitter at Dr_Harves, but it looks like the S has dropped down a bit, but so be it. Okay, so first thing, if you are new to Flipgrid, you can use the following link, which I have on the slide, https://signupflipgrid.com. So if you get a copy of the slides, which I think you get after the presentation, you can all join the wonderful journey that is Flipgrid. You essentially just sign up either with your school Google or Microsoft account, or if you don't have that, your own private account, and then you just put in the information and you're all ready to go. So to begin with, looking at the changes, there's been slight changes in the language that we use on the Educator Dashboard. So when you sign up, the first thing you will see in Flipgrid is the concept of an Educator Dashboard. The Educator Dashboard is basically your ultimate hub for amplifying student voice and empowering all your learners to create wonderful videos to showcase their learning. On the hub, you can create groups or even individual topics in something called now the discussion tab. You can explore collections in the discovery library. You can record engaging mini lessons using the concept of shorts, and you can help your students make global connections with Grid Pals, all very important aspects of the modern Flipgrid platform. In terms of creating groups for your class, you can either create them as public or private. As educators, I recommend you do it as private because it is the most secure way you can interact with your students, and child safety issues, obviously, which are critical. And the two ways you can do it is you can add students with your school student email. I recommend this personally, or you can add students with their student usernames. Our prep school here at Marlborough College prefers using that second approach because that way they tend to forget their passwords, so you have the passwords on hand because they're just using their student username. So I suggest for younger students under the age of 14 or 13, you use the student usernames. Okay, so you can also customize your group with wonderful images. Okay, so what you do is on your group that you're creating, look for the pencil icon, which we can see here, and you can change things like the name of the group, update the join code, so you can personalize it, for example, to make it based on your name as a teacher, for example. You can change access control, so only you can access it, or you can add parents, for example. You can hide a group from the students, for example, if you're dealing with, say, personal information and you don't want other students or other parents or other teachers to see that. And you can personalize it with your own custom banner. Okay, so that's basically customizing your group. So you can also add topics to your group that you've just created. Okay, so there's basically two parts to this process. Part one is building a topic. So you basically add a title for your topic. So for me being a chemistry teacher, it could be, say, a water's hydration experiment. You add a question for the students as a prompt. And then in part two, you can build the topic by exploring more options. So in exploring more options, you can add videos to your topic. You can add topic features, add certain prompts like particular websites through topic attachments. You can add images, JPEGs, GIFs, a whole range of different media which can assist the learners as they research using that particular topic. And you can also freeze the topic until a certain time or keep it active. In terms of notifications, as an educator, you can get daily notifications, weekly notifications, or monthly notifications, which means that you can essentially every day, week, or month, you get an email just highlighting the topics that have been answered by your students. And you can also allow topic followers. So there's a large number of options which I've kind of glossed over. The best way to learn, of course, is to hop onto the Flipgrid program and have a play for yourself. But those are just some of the examples of the more options that can use for your topics. Another important feature is the idea of a co-pilot. So a co-pilot can be a co-teacher. So it allows, as an educator of your Flipgrid topic, to invite a fellow educator to co-manage your group, okay? And the important thing to note for that is that the other teacher also has to have a Flipgrid educator account. So you both have to be educators. So there's many reasons why you could add co-pilots. You can invite their students to connect with you and your students. So that can be cross-collaboration between either schools or even classes or globally. Your co-pilot can create and add additional topics. They can provide additional feedback for student video responses from your students and also their students. And also your students can provide feedback for their students and vice versa. So that builds on the collaboration aspect of Flipgrid. You can moderate video responses. So for example, if I'm doing a global project which has 1,000 to 2,000 entries, that's a bit too much for me to handle. So I add 4 or 5 co-pilots who can also moderate video responses. The important thing to note that you still have control of the group because co-pilots cannot delete the group or add other co-pilots to your group. You are still in control of that aspect. So Flipgrid also makes it simple to share your groups or specific topics with your learners. Okay, there's a whole range. You can basically give them a unique web link they can join with. They can you can generate a QR code so they can use their mobile phones and the Flipgrid app on their mobile phones to join your group. You can share directly onto a team, Microsoft Team, and you can share directly with Google as well. So not only can you interact if you're a Microsoft school, but you can also use Flipgrid if you are a Google school as well. You can also copy and embed code in order to embed your group in a document or add it to a topic on a Google site or a Microsoft SharePoint site. So there's a large number of options in terms of sharing your topics with your learners. So also when you are logged into your educator account, you can also swap around and see it from the perspective of a student. Okay, all you have to do is simply open the group you wish to view and click the join code, and you can see it from the perspective of your student. Now, it's important that when you consider this, because this is one issue I have, my Flipgrid account is actually my own personal Gmail account. So when I'm acting as a student, I use my school email account because one of the safety features I put on is you can only access my Flipgrid topics if you have my school email. Okay, so that's basically what the asterisk says. Okay, so now get to the big change in Flipgrid in recent times, the all new Flipgrid recorder, and we'll kind of break those things down. Okay, so the first thing you'll look at if you start recording is something called the options menu, and there are 4 different functions. There is the upload video clip, where you can have a computer clip or a MP4 clip on your computer. You can actually upload that directly onto the Flipgrid video response. You can flip your screen, okay, so mirror your video. You can either mute or unmute your mic, and you can also screen record. So screen recording, you can screen record the entire screen. You can also screen record an application, or you can also screen record a Chrome or Microsoft Edge tab. Okay, so screen record works both In fact, Flipgrid itself works best with Chrome and Microsoft Edge. It doesn't work anymore with the other web browsers like Safari. So I recommend you download Edge or the latest version of Chrome in order to fully access the features of Microsoft's Flipgrid. Okay, so this can be in two ways. So not only can you record little mini lessons, okay, so flipping the classroom, but students can also record themselves discussing, say, a PowerPoint presentation on their own computer if it's a one-to-one school. And so it's just enhancing learning and just increasing the ways that students can communicate knowledge. So the next menu is the effects menu. Okay, so in the effects menu, you have filters, frames, emojis, text draw, digital linking, board, and photo stickers. So and we'll go through these individually, but essentially with add filters, you can change the filter like Instagram. If you are Instagram users, you can change the filter to be more sepia or even pixel, which is quite useful for shy students. You can add frames like breaking news or a nice jungle frame. Add emojis to, again, show different emotions. For example, that's quite good for social emotional learning in the sense that it's quite effective of students using emojis to express how they're feeling. Adding text to videos. Drawing on a board, that's quite good for mathematics and science teachers like myself. So you can actually have the students or yourself have a whiteboard up there, and they can do calculations to problems that you might give them as assignments on the Flipgrid video. Writing, and that's kind of in combination with the writing boards. So the writing boards, again, in combination with drawing, very effective tool in communicating. And you can add photos. So add photos is quite a good tool for students as well. They can add photos and then speak around the photos as kind of like a Zen presentation approach. So yeah, just breaking these things down. So in terms of the new features, filters are new. Here's me in my nice rainbow filter. So filters can be used for a wide variety of purposes. So the one I like to use, actually, well, the students like to use especially, is the pixel filter. Okay, so a lot of students are shy in showing their faces. So what they can do is they can actually pixelate their face to actually show, not show themselves, but actually just voice over. But you can see that they're there because it's still pixelated. So it gets the best of both worlds. You still get the feedback of their verbal feedback, and you know that they're still present because you can see their pixelated face. Okay, so that's the advantage of something like the Pixel or Lego filter, which are new additions to the Flipgrid camera. Okay, so the other addition, here's the nice jungle theme I've chosen there, is the frames. Okay, so you can, like the students and yourself can become more kind of creative. It enhances your video responses by adding a certain frame. So a good one here is the breaking news frame. Doing, say, current events or news, the students can kind of role play the idea of being news reporters and say that, well, this is the breaking news for today. That's good for sharing a current event or a news article using the breaking news frame. Okay, just to add that extra bit of creativity and a bit of fun to the task for their learning. So the other addition that you can consider is the emojis menu. Okay, so in the emojis menu, you'll find a wide variety of stickers. And the new addition is the mathematics stickers for those mathematics teachers, and also arrows are great for pointing at things, not only for yourself, but also your students when they're explaining things. You can also rearrange the stickers in terms of the video. You can send them to the back, you can bring them to the front. You can mirror the image. You can also duplicate images. So this is, again, a very powerful technique to allow the students to basically express their knowledge in new and creative ways. So you can choose from math stickers, emojis, thought bubbles. Again, so thought bubbles is quite good for SEL again. So what are you thinking about? What are your thoughts on your emotions in this difficult time with COVID? And also using their emojis to explain their reactions. You've also got adding text. Okay, so text, again, you can enhance, or they can enhance the message. There's a whole different variety of new fonts and styles. So we have the classic, we've got superpower, we've got neon, typewriter, party fonts, LCD, sun, and groovy. So students can either do oral feedback when they're presenting. They can then link that to typed text, or they can basically use the text to express their ideas through text rather than actually speaking to camera, because that's basically in combination with the board effect and the text effect. And you can also use images, again, with the photo effect. So yeah, there's a whole range of different new exciting fonts, styles of text. You can even change the different colors. So they have a whole range of different options to express themselves and express their learning. So another one, which I've already mentioned briefly, is the idea of boards. So students and yourself, if you're creating these Flipgrid videos for flipped classrooms using shorts, you can use a whiteboard and blackboard in order to show what you know or they know. They can use scientific or mathematical equations. They can use a combination of text and images and digital drawing, digital inking to create these engaging videos. And there's a whole range of different variety of boards. Recently, they've added the more mathematical grids. Okay, so that's quite good for graphs and mathematics. They can also split the camera, and you can as well if you're making the videos. So you can reveal yourself to the camera and demonstrate what you're actually trying to explain on the other side of the split screen. Quite a powerful tool. Okay, so photos, another one you can unleash. Okay, again, it allows creativity for teachers and students because they can speak to the photo. It acts as a prompt when they're creating these videos. You can incorporate visuals in mini lesson videos. So again, that's how I use it. In one way, I have a video, basically a Flipgrid video, where I create a short video, which is one of the new features, a maximum of 10 minutes long, and I basically copy that code and add it to the LMS, so students have access to the video of the lesson. And that's in terms of me. I create these tutorials or mini lesson videos, whereas students can use the images and other functions to incorporate visuals in their written work or creative products when they're, again, demonstrating their learnings in new and creative ways. So, you just click on the effects menu and upload either JPEG or PNG files. I haven't tried GIF. Maybe GIF might work as well. Okay, so if you're stuck for choices about what to do, if it's a bit overwhelming to begin with as a beginner, then never fear, we have the Discovery Library. So the Discovery Library is another function of Flipgrid, which is being developed, where it has basically a wide variety of collections of topics created by other educators, basically. And it does say Flipgrid Education Innovation Leads. So there are 4 innovation leads working at Flipgrid who create content. And you've also got other teachers creating content who put it on the Discovery Library. So, for example, for me, I've got some science-based videos on there. And you also have other people contributing from third parties like Wonderopolis. If we look here, we've got National Geographic, other ones, interesting conversations about race, equity, and justice. So there's a whole range of different resources that you can basically copy into your library and use them as topics, and you can amend them as you feel appropriate. Okay, so don't forget, once you get on board, if you've taken, be sure to give back. So once you've added into your groups, you can also contribute back to the Discovery Library and inspire educators just like you. So there's a whole range of options using Flipgrid. Okay, so in elementary, you have these possibilities of, say, 2 truths, no lie. 2 truths and a lie. It's a good way to get starting to know your classroom. Staff introductions. Middle school, you've got ideas about, again, introductions and literature circles. You can have, say, a chapter, and the students just say, well, what I thought about the chapter, and you can have back and forth feedback. high school, a help centre. So you as a teacher can create basically a group or a topic, or it will be a group actually, a group where you can help them if they have any questions. So they just record their questions to you and you can respond back to them. Again, the importance of peer-to-peer feedback. So you can develop rubrics the students can work through and they can provide feedback to their learners. Because one of the problems as a teacher is we do not really have enough time to mark everything. So if we inspire our students to become the markers, it's a great way for them to develop their feedback skills and also their kind of leadership skills. And lots of app smashing as well, with a large number of smash with Flipgrid. In terms of higher education, it's a great way to do research papers, office hours again, so you can do asynchronous office hours. They can ask questions, you can reply back, and you can extend lectures, for example, with invigorating prompts in your topics. And then for coaching and mentoring and PD, you can develop goal setting within your organisation, lesson ideas. You can create short lesson ideas for other colleagues to maybe build upon and provide feedback on. These are all options that you can do with Flipgrid. Okay, so that's pretty much my talk. I didn't really want to talk that much. I want to get more into the questions. For those who are on the MEC, the achievement code for the session is on the Microsoft Educator community, and that is the code there. I've given instructions to redeem the code. Basically, you go onto the MEC, you sign in, and you basically redeem code, and therefore you get some points if you want to move on to become a Microsoft Innovative Educator, and then further on next year to become a Microsoft Innovation Educator Expert. Okay, so these give you a few points. Just say that Dr. Harvey sent you with that code. Add the code in, and you get some can redeem some points, so you can move towards becoming an MIE and later an MIE expert. Okay, so thank you for joining us. Obviously, I'll have questions after this. You can download the slides, I believe, later. I'm not quite sure, but you can follow Microsoft at microsoft.edu. Microsoft Edu on Twitter, and Microsoft for Education on Facebook. And there's some links there also for Microsoft and Education. There's a monthly newsletter that comes out, and also ways you can get Office 365. Right, so I'm going to stop presenting, I think. I'm not sure how to stop presenting, but there we go. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I should have stopped presenting, so you can see my wonderful face. Has there been any questions in the chat?
So far, I didn't see any questions, Doctor.
Okay.
Do you have anything else to say before I sum up?
Yeah, well, I guess that was rather short and sweet. I just think it's an important tool, and I think it's a great way for our learners to present their information, and it's a great way to get feedback and provide feedback, and it's a great assessment to actually illustrate learning in a new and creative way, just rather than just written exams. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Harvey. That was great explanation about Flipgrid and its new features. I think I missed out some of the new features because I'm a user of Flipgrid as well. And I hope our audience out there will be able, the educators out there will be able to use Flipgrid and engage our students. And being second language learners, I'm sure the students will be able to use Flipgrid in order to,
Yes, okay, so that's a point.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me. The other powerful thing with Flipgrid, of course, is the immersive reader function. So I have a large number of students who are from China and Korea, and so they can use the immersive reader function in Flipgrid, so they can play back the prompts in their own language. It also breaks down the words into syllables. It also gives them a visual library of, so basically for nouns, it gives the images for nouns. So it assists them as English as a second language in developing their understanding of the language as well. Yeah.
Yes, very true, Doctor. Our students here, they're struggling to learn English language with the features in the immersive reader. I'm sure that educators will be able to assist our learners to be more engaged in order to learn English language. And priority here, not only to learn English as a whole, but speaking is a very critical area whereby the students are struggling in order to learn to speak English. And being the user and educator of a user of Flipgrid, I found that my students are improving tremendously in speaking skill. They are being very brave to talk, even as little as 30 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds video. And I'm sure that with your explanation, the detailed explanation of the Flipgrid and its users and features, the educators will be able to use this Flipgrid app as one of the tools to engage the students. And this is, I would say, one of the magic tools that I discovered in my very own teaching, teaching the primary school students. So I'm sure the educators will make full use of your today's live talk in order to engage our learners and do something for our students who are struggling being the second language learners. As for, since we have already come to the end, for tonight's slot, I would like to welcome all the audience to join our live session with Sonja Leda-Force. She's a MI fellow. She's going to talk about what's new in Microsoft. So I hope all of you will be able to join us to see what is in the market in order to use Microsoft technology to engage our learners. Beautiful things. And I'm sure being educators, we need to make changes in embracing technology so that we are able to produce better quality students. Being second language learners, our students are able to learn English language in more engaging, interactively, interesting, and feel the fun of learning English language right from kindergarten up to tertiary education. So with that, Doctor, you have any final say?
No, thank you for the opportunity of speaking, and any questions, just hit me up at Twitter at Dr. all one word underscore halves all one word. It's on the presentation. Yeah, so much and all the best. I'll see you all to see Sonia in a few hours' time. Great, thank you.
Yes, definitely. Thank you very much, Dr. Harvey, for the wonderful talk. And thank you very much for My Digital Maker Virtual Fair 2020 for giving all of us this opportunity to join live webinars. Thank you. See you again in upcoming sessions. Bye-bye for everyone.
Oh, look at this. Oh, it's not my face.